anyone who can't call what's happening in Palestine a genocide, fucking shame. Yeah, even Bernie, AOC too, she called it a genocide. Still gave them weapons to genociders. And to all the people, it's just a made up word, man. Well, all words are fucking made up. All of them, dipshits. Like, as a species, we saw something so reprehensible that mass murder and ethnic cleansing didn't do it justice. So back then, after the dust settled, we invented the term genocide. And that's the thing Israel is doing right now. We need new Nuremberg trials. That's just the way it is. We do. The ICJ needs to rule that this is a genocide. I know it's just symbolic at this point because they're practically all dead anyway. Uh, because my fascist country has the biggest stick. But for God's sake, like, go on record so that history will remember that we at least called it what it was. That most of us are yelling into the frickin' ether that this is awful. It's just repugnant that the best this world can do for Palestine are meaningless platitudes in the face of annihilation. Palestinian statehood now, cool. Statehood of rubble. Thank you. That's so great for them. Like, come the fuck on. And Bibi's butt boy denying FEMA funding to states that don't support genocide. They go so far to say that if the state doesn't curtail citizens from BDS, they might not get that fire relief. Better stock up on that fucking Sabra. New Nuremberg trials. For real. Like, this is... I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir, but like, this is just unbelievable. Wolf Blitzer interviewing Mahmoud Khalil. It's like, do you condemn Hamas? You know what? No, I don't fucking condemn Hamas. How's that? Like, would you condemn Jewish gangs in the Warsaw Ghetto fighting Nazis? Yeah, October 7th was barbaric and awful things happened. But when you treat people like animals, you don't get to play victim when they act like animals. These people have been living in a friggin' apartheid state for decades. For the last 2 decades, they've been living in an open-air prison. Adults have known nothing but having, where they can go controlled, their calories controlled, their water controlled, their electricity controlled, what hospital they can go to controlled, where in the area they can be at any given time controlled. That's second-class citizenship. That is definitionally apartheid, and they've been living through it for so long, And then we have the Abraham Accords completely just disregards the Palestinians from the whole equation. What are they to do when October 7th was a Hail Mary from some of the most oppressed people on earth, forcing us to fucking listen and not disregard them. And does anybody else find the irony that the Houthis are the only militant body that are upholding international law? It's like Never Again was a bullshit lie. Like the whole thing about after World War II and the depravity and the craziness that we saw was so that, we put these laws in place so it wouldn't happen again, not just for Jews, but for anybody, but these entities have no teeth. Well, what army do they have to go force America or Israel to stop what they're doing? It's just ridiculous. Our world leaders have just proved that it's just a bullshit lie because that's their job. They need to band together and be all like, no, stop. And the fact that, our president is, wielding the most influence and is just saying, go ahead, go starve them. It's, people, freaking on the floor of the Senate saying starve away, just ghouls. Ever since I went to the Holocaust Museum as a kid, I always asked myself, what would I have done? That pile of shoes fucking haunted me, man. If I lived in Nazi-controlled Europe, would the courage of my convictions rise to the occasion? It turns out when the Holocaust is streamed in 4K to our fucking eyeballs, it's easy to be steadfast in those convictions. So to all the Barry Weisses, Ethan Kleins of the world, fuck you. You failed one of the most basic, fundamental tests of human decency. 47% of Israelis think that in a conquered land, all inhabitants, man, woman, child, should be slaughtered. 82% think kicking them all out is justified. That's ethnic cleansing. And those numbers come from Israelis. Like, you go look it up. Like, only way you get those numbers is if you have a concentrated campaign of childhood indoctrination. You know, a curriculum to teach Israelis that Palestinians are less than human and deserve exile or death. I find it ironic that Jews would exile them to the deserts of Egypt. And you know what? That's the same indoctrination that the Knesset claims Hamas does to their children. Projection much? These people need to be shamed. They deserve shame. It almost makes you want to keep people from like that away from general society. Some people might even want to round them up. See where I'm going with this? Israelis have set back the global Jewish cause by decades, because they continue to conflate Judaism and their Zionist project. Here's a general rule of thumb. If Israel is accusing someone of doing something, then Israel are the ones actually doing it. Pretty much always.